Saggies, this is Joanna from Tarot with Joanna, here to do another reading. Hello, hello, hello. So Saggies, in today's reading, I'm going to give you two of the Denise Lynn Oracle cards. Going to do your reading and then clarify it. So let us get started. See what's going on in your reading. Whenever you see this reading, will be the right time, whether it's an old reading or new reading. If you decide to claim it, then claim it. If you don't, and then just leave it, okay? All right, so Saggies, let's do this. Let's go on with your reading and see what's going on. Spirit, this is going to be for Sagittarius, for their highest good. See what's going on. One more card. All right, and it says, wow, nice. It says, narrow pathway, tread thoughtfully. So everything you do, really be careful on everything that you're doing, okay? Really check it twice, really be objective, really take your time making any kind of decisions or doing anything, okay? So they're asking you to really think about before you start doing things. Then you have rainbow blessings. Blessings are showering your life. Wow, that's beautiful. Good for you, Saggies. You deserve this. All right, so that's good. That is really nice. All right, Saggies. So like I said, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is going to be for Saggies. Saggies. One for the current. This is for Sagittarius. One for the situation. One, oh, okay. For the past. For what's hidden. One more for what's hidden. One for the hopes and fears. One for what you need to do now. Wow. One for what you need to work on. One for the outcome. Wow. All right, you guys, let's see what is going on here. My goodness. Right now that I put all these cards down, I do see 555 here. So there is a lot of change coming in. But there's also a lot of stuff that's leaving, I feel. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. You start off with the Five of Cups here, and the Five of Cups is talking about having some kind of regret of the things that were going on. Maybe everything that's been happening in your life, or just the choices that you have been making. You know, you continue to have that regret, or feeling down, or feeling just like, you know, why did I do this, or why did I do that? You second guess yourself a lot. You have the Devil card for the situation. Devil is asking you to not go back to these old patterns, to leave the old patterns. You could also be feeling like you're trapped in something. I'm not sure. We'll see what the cards say. You have the past. For the past, you have the Three of Swords, which is really good. You don't want to be emotional all the time. You don't want to have that sadness. But we'll see why it's here, because there's something here about all this. So let's see. Then for what's hidden, you do have the Five of Wands and the Cosmic Coven. In this tarot deck, you know, they're asking you to use your intuition. That's what that's about. You know, really trusting your intuition and using your intuition. You do have the Five of Wands here also, and I feel like you're very frustrated. You have a lot of anger. There could be some kind of anger, some kind of arguing around you, or maybe you're arguing with someone. We'll see. You do have the Ace of Cups here for the hopes and fears. You know, there could be somebody new coming into your life, or there is somebody new. I feel like you're going to have a lot of creative ideas. This is a new path. Wow. Okay, let's see what else is here. You have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is definitely talking about, you know, really a lot of anger, a lot of fighting and just negativity, you know, trying to get away with something. You have the Page of Wands for what you need to work on. You really need to try to clear this path, you know, change your mindset, you know, let the change come in as it should be. But we'll see why it's here. You need to be optimistic too, like really keep your faith in things, like don't lose hope on things, you know, because things are going to change, and there's a lot of change here. I see it here already. And then you have the Eight of Wands here, and the Eight of Wands is talking about that things are going to start moving quickly. There is a lot of change coming through. There's messages and there's news coming also through, and you're definitely moving forward. You're going to be moving forward from something. So let's see. Okay, Hang in there, Saggies. I know that all this takes time, but you'll get there. Trust me, you will. Okay. All right. So, Saggies, let's see what's going on with your reading. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is going to be for Saggies. Saggies, Saggies, Saggies. The Five of Cups. Why is the Five of Cups here? One more card. Wow. Wow. Okay. So, you did get the Five of Cups twice on here with the same position, different cards, which is really, you're feeling a lot. You're really feeling a lot. Maybe there was some kind of truth that you had to see, or maybe you spoke your truth and it changed everything for you. Because there is something here that you needed to do. You do have the Five of Cups here, and you also have the Five of Cups here. It's two different decks, same position, same card. When you get the Five of Cups together like this, it's meaning that you're really in a really down mode. Okay, you're really feeling that regret. You're really feeling that, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. But they're asking you to just look up at these things, look up at what's left here. Okay, like, yes, a lot of things have changed and you've made decisions, but you still have things coming in. You still have two cups there that are there, but it's up to you to change this. It's up to you to see what the better things that are going to come in, to see that, it's a positive and not a negative. Yes, you're feeling all these emotions, but you really got to give yourself some time to overcome this, because you will. But it's just, you need to really let that regret go. And it feels like you're like really down about something. And you do have the Page of Swords, and I feel like there was a truth that had to come out. Maybe you spoke your truth, or maybe you did see the truth in something. There was something here that you saw and made you regret a lot. And I feel like you give yourself some time, okay, because you're going to be okay. As much as you think that this wasn't right, and it shouldn't have happened this way, and I can't believe that this is going on. This is the change that's been coming in, that's been wanting to come in. And the thing is that when we receive the change, when we receive all this change, it's just mean that it's pushing us to something better. So just, try to remember that. I know it's hard. I know it's easier said than done, that, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear all this. You just want to wallow in your regret and get mad, but it's not going to change nothing. It's just going to make you feel worse, Wow. Then you have the Devil card here. And why is the Devil card here for Saggies? One more card. Wow. So you do have the Devil card here. Like I said, maybe there was some kind of, maybe you had felt trapped, or maybe you went back to the same, you're wanting to go back to the old patterns or the same thing over and over and over again. They're asking you to leave that, that temptation of doing the same pattern, of doing the same thing over and over, of leaving those bad habits behind. Okay, really let it go. But I do feel like you were, at one point, you're feeling trapped, but I feel like things have changed for you. And I feel like you are definitely going to leave a situation very soon, because you have the Six of Swords here. Six of Swords is, they didn't wait around. You see these two people in the boat and they have the swords around them, but they didn't wait. They just like, what, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of doing the same thing over and over, feeling trapped, feeling like, I can't go forward, feeling like nothing's going to change. I'm done. I'm over with. And they're saying that you're going to leave it behind. Definitely. You're very compassionate. You're very loving. You're the Empress. Empress is about abundance. She's about prosperity. She knows how to handle herself and everything around her. And that's you, don't give up on anything. Don't give up on anything. Just do what you need to do. Move away from any situation that's not for you, because you're not the same person anymore, Saggies. You want something different, and you've been wanting it for a long time, and it's gonna come through already. So just know that. but you're going through all this emotions because you're also going through this healing, because you're going through this big transformation that's been here. It's been here, so now it's finally pushing you forward. You know, even though you don't want these changes, you still have to go through them. You know, and I'm not gonna say it's for our own good. I'm gonna say that, you know, you're gonna see that it was better. You may not see it now, but you're gonna see it. Then you have the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is talking about, you know, your emotions being high. They are very high, and I feel like this is now. I feel like you're angry. I feel like you're frustrated. I feel like you're feeling down. I feel like, you know, you just have a lot of anger within you. There is a lot of change that's going to come in, so be ready. Then what you have here in the Five of Wands, and why is the Five of Wands here? All right, so you do need to see things differently now, okay? Because you do have you need to trust your intuition. Really start using your intuition and trusting it, okay? You have that inner gift. You have that inner power of yourself. You know how to handle things. You have that strength, that calmness to do what you need to do, okay? You do have a lot of anger. You know, maybe you've been overly giving yourself to everything that's been going on, you know. You're seeing things differently now because you also have the Hangman. You know, let it go. Let everything go. You know, maybe you were overgiving yourself. You know, you kept doing this for them, kept doing this for that, you know. Maybe you were always doing something for everybody, you know, but now it's time. It's frustrating. It's angry. You got angry. You're frustrated because, you know, all this has happened and you got nothing. You know, all you did was get hurt is what I'm feeling. And, you know, and the thing is that now you got to move on. Okay. Just completely move on. Move forward, because you don't need all this. I do feel like there is some kind of abundance here. I do feel like you need to see things differently because you still hold on to a lot of anger. And I do feel like there is going to be a lot of change here. Okay. And I do feel like you need to set boundaries here also. You have the Ace of Cups. And why is the Ace of Cups here? And what's hidden? The hopes and fears. I'm sorry. My card. Wow. So there is going to be somebody new coming into your life. Doesn't have to be a love interest, but there is a new person arriving. This person could be a mentor, could be just somebody that could be hanging around with, or just somebody that you're gonna meet. You know, it doesn't have to be a love interest. Is what I'm saying. There's a lot of creativity here. There's a lot of ideas that you have in your mind right now. There is a new beginning. There's a new beginning here also. I feel like your cup is going to overflow and it's going to get better. Things are going to get better. You know, you are definitely moving forward with the Three of Wands here. The Three of Wands is saying that there could be some kind of partnership. There could be, this also could be a love interest for some of you guys also, but it doesn't have to be. You know, you're moving forward. You could also be like making plans and not telling anybody about it also, but definitely you're moving forward. You're trying to figure out your next step, like what's going on, what am I going to do after this? How am I going to go this way? You know, so you're definitely making plans to go forward. So that's nice. And then you have the Four of Swords, and the Four of Swords says you're exhausted. You're really exhausted. You're emotional. You're exhausted. You're feeling all this, and you are definitely have a lot of feelings of anger and regret here, but you just need to really take care of yourself now. Okay. It's time to rest. It's time to take it easy. It's time to just, you know, do what you need to do for you. You have the Five of Swords here. And why is the Five of Swords here for Sagittarius? One more card. Wow. So there is that new path that's coming in. There's a new cycle here that's coming in. But there's also a truth that you need to see. Okay. There's messages coming through. They're going to come in. You do have the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is saying that you're still angry. You have a lot of anger within you. You know, you're frustrated. There could be arguing around you, or you just feel like arguing with people. You know, but you're just really definitely you really have that anger within you. There was a truth that you needed to see. You haven't seen it. Maybe you haven't seen it yet. There will be, and it's going to leave you angry. But there's something here about some kind of truth that's coming in, or it's going to come in very soon. They want you to speak your truth and see the truth in everything, okay? You're going to have clarity on and understand why all this has happened the way it is happening, okay? So There's also breakthroughs here. There's clarity. There's also that new start, but you need to try your best to get away from this. They want you to follow your heart with the Knight of Cups here. Follow your heart, you know. Do what you want to do. Follow your heart. Stop trying to do it for somebody else. You don't need to be doing things for somebody else. You don't need to be like, somebody's beck and call. You don't. You just need to do it for yourself and start following your own heart. I feel like you need to pay attention to your intuition. I feel like you need to look at the messages that are coming in, especially in your dreams, because I feel like you're going to be receiving some kind of intuitive message and the messages on the outside, because there are sudden messages, unexpected messages coming in. So just know that. And then you have the Page of Wands here. And why is the Page of Wands here? Hold on, you guys. Let me check my phone. Okay, there's nobody. All right. Spirit, why is the Page of Wands here for Saggies? Eight of Pentacles. And then you have the High Priestess. So like I said, really pay attention to everything. There's going to be, you're ready for this new change. There's going to be a lot of changes anyways. Even if you're not ready, there will be changes. They want you to be bold. They want you to, be calm about things, have patience for everything, be optimistic that everything's going to move forward and everything's going to work out for the better. You could also be going on this spiritual journey, like trying to figure things out and, finding answers, but I do feel like you are definitely, I feel like you're definitely going in a new direction here. They want you to trust your intuition, really trust that inner power that you have, the intuition that tells you, hey, you don't belong here, that intuition that says, hey, get out, let's go, you don't need to be here, that intuition where it says take this turn instead of that turn. Listen to your gut. Okay, also feel like you've been working very hard, and it's going to really definitely pay off, but you're trying to reach that material success, and I understand that you are, and you could also be waiting on a new job. You could be looking for a new job, and they want you to be optimistic about it. Keep your faith, because there are opportunities around you. Wow, that was for somebody. I don't know who that was for, but definitely just know that all your efforts are going to pay off. You are going to reach that material success. You just need to use your, you need to trust your intuition. You need to have patience and really be calm about things. Okay. And then you have the Eight of Wands. And why is the Eight of Wands here for Saggies? Oh, my card. Wow. Okay. So you are going to go through a lot right now. Okay, you're being very optimistic. I mean, you're being very nostalgic right now. Thinking about the past, thinking about everything that has happened. You also could be going through a healing, because your emotions are very high right now. Just know that they're going to be high. And then there's an ending. There's definitely an ending to all this drama that you're going through. Whether it was a relationship or career or something, an obstacle, it's definitely going to come to an end. But remember, it always goes back to a one, so it's going to be a new cycle, a new chapter that's coming in. So it's good. This is very nice. Believe it or not, just, be careful on how you're doing things. Really be careful. And believe it or not, there are blessings coming in for you. So there are opportunities. There's abundance here. You just gotta keep pushing forward, okay? And don't give up. And then you have the Eight of Wands, and like I said, there's going to be unexpected changes that you didn't expect. There's messages going to be coming through, so really pay attention. And I do feel like you're going to be moving forward. You just need to have that patience. Really, really have that patience for everything. Because you will move forward. It's just that you have to go through all this obstacles, all this truth, all this how you're feeling, because you're going through a healing also. We're all going through this big transformation, this judgment, this rebirth, whatever it is, but we're all going through it, and some of us are just barely getting on it, so Just hang in there, Saggies, because you will get all this that you want. All right, so Saggies, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. God bless.